Human experiments. From dissecting live victims without anesthetic to exposing radiation to pregnant women, here are the top 10 most horrific human experiments ever conducted throughout history. Number 10 is the Milgram Experiment. If an authorized person were to command you to hurt another, will you do it? In the 1960s, Stanley Milgram conducted a simple experiment where the volunteers are asked to shock a person in another room. The volunteers are ordered to continue even if the victims were to scream in agonizing pain, went unconscious, or even dies. Disturbingly, all the volunteers actually continued the experiment when commanded. Thankfully, the victim is an actor and no one was harmed. Well, physically that is. The volunteers, however, suffered trauma after the experiment as they realized what cruelty they are capable of. This experiment is a reminder that there is an evil in all of us. Number 9 is the Aversion Project. In 1969, Dr. Aubrey Levin claimed that he found a way to cure homosexuality. Thousands of homosexuals were handed to him, and he would strap electrodes onto them. Pictures of naked men or women will be shown to the homosexuals. Then the homosexuals will be shocked again and again and again. The experiment didn't last long, as the doctor fled when he was informed that he could be arrested for violating human rights. Number 8 is the Human-Ape Hybridization Experiment. A Russian and Soviet biologist who specialized in the field of artificial insemination was convinced that he can create the ultimate soldier by producing a human-ape hybrid. The soldier's bred would be strong and agile like a chimpanzee and smart like a human. The biologist tried fertilizing a chimpanzee with human semen, but the female chimp failed to get pregnant, so instead, he tried fertilizing humans with chimpanzee semen. Again, the experiment failed, but that didn't stop the biologist. He conducted multiple experiments on volunteers and victims again and again until he was arrested on December 1930. Thankfully, not a single human-ape hybrid was ever created. Number 7 is the Stanford Prisoner Experiment. Year 1970. Psychiatrist Professor Philip took 24 undergraduates and assigned them roles as either prisoners or guards. After just a mere few days, the guards started physically, mentally, and even sexually abusing the prisoners. The abuse was so bad that 2 prisoners had to be sent home early due to emotional trauma. The experiment was so horribly successful that even the psychiatrist himself started believing that he was in an actual prison. The Stanford Prisoner Experiment was stopped at the 6th day as the abuse was getting seriously severe. The psychiatrist then published a book called The Lucifer Effect, again as a reminder that there is an evil in all of us. Number 6 is the THash-1412 drug trial. In the year 2007, a group of scientists believed that they found a cure for leukemia. The THash-1412 was first tested on various animals, and it was deemed safe as none had any little side effects. However, the same can't be said to a human being. The drug trial on humans started and the results were grim, as it puts all 6 healthy men in hospital intense care. The drug was believed to cause overstimulation of the human immune system, sending white blood cells rampaging through the body, destroying body tissues and causing organ failure. Number 5 is experiments on newborns. Imagine an infant that is 1 hour to 3 days old. So vulnerable and so adorable. Who in their right mind will use them for experiments, right? Well, these people. In the 1960s, researchers in University of California used 113 newborns to study changes in blood pressure and blood flow. The researchers submerged the baby's feet in ice-cold water to test aortic pressure, and in some cases hang the babies upside down so that the blood will rush into their head. What is wrong with these people? I have no idea. Number 4 is radioactive materials in pregnant women. After World War II, there is an urge to develop the most powerful chemical and radioactive weapon in the world. So a few researchers gave 829 pregnant women vitamin drinks, which the researchers claim will improve the health of their unborn child, but actually they were given radioactive iron. The researchers wanted to study how quickly the radioisotopes will cross into the placenta, but this results in 7 babies dying from cancer, the mothers having rashes, bruise, anemia, loss of hair and tooth, and developed cancer. Number 3 is Project MKUltra. From 1953 to 1973, the researchers of MKUltra project was developing a method to control a person's mind. Citizens of America and Canada were hypnotized, isolated, verbally and sexually abused, and fed with LSD and many mind-alternating drugs. However, some believe that the whole mind-controlling project was a decoy. The real intention of MKUltra was to find the most efficient way to torture and extract information from people. The researchers claimed that they weren't doing anything sinister, but that didn't explain why they destroyed most of their records after they were shut down. Suspicious? Maybe a little. Number 2 is Unit 731. Unit 731 was a covert biological and chemical warfare research and development unit of the Imperial Japanese Army. Experiments conducted here includes dissection of live, unconscious victims without anesthetic, injection of deadly diseases to develop new germ warfare, frostbite testing, weapon testing, and many more inhuman experiments. Not only that, victims were constantly starved, raped, and beaten, basically treated worse than animals. Number 1 is the Nazi Human Experimentation. Conducted during World War II in concentration camps, the experiments ranges from genetically modifying twins, bone, muscle and nerve transplantation, head injury experimentation, freezing experiments, malaria experiments, immunization experiments by first exposing the victims to deadly diseases, mustard gas experiments, and the list goes on. After World War II, the experimentation was stopped, but the damage was done, and countless victims, mostly Jewish, were either dead, disfigured, or permanently disabled. Bonus: a vaccine for smallpox. Remember smallpox? A lethal disease that exists millions of years ago and has been efficiently killing us since the dawn of mankind? Well, it was totally eradicated, and the person who plays a major role in this eradication was this guy, Edward Jenner. He first noticed that milk maidens who had cowpox became immune to smallpox, so he infected his neighbor's kids with cowpox, then with smallpox. Thankfully, the experiment was a success. To confirm his experiments, he went out and infected even more of his neighbor's kids with cowpox than smallpox, and even infecting his own kids. All the kids grew immunity to smallpox, and he was confident that the vaccine for smallpox was found. Today, smallpox ceased to exist, and Jenner is considered to be a hero. But if the experiments were to fail, he would be considered to be a murderer instead. Human experiments. Without proper control, it can be turned into the most horrendous torture sessions ever. But without it, it is difficult or even impossible for us to advance in the understanding of the human body. Whether you find it justified or morally wrong, one thing is for sure, that is, human experiments can never be fully banned no matter what. This is JTX, saying stay safe and thanks for watching.